nervous, actually, when my dad and I went to the Alberta's House of Friendship right here. I'm actually looking at babies that have been orphaned, or mothers that had to leave their children for a lot of reasons. And this was very emotional for me because, Lorna, I was there in one of those cribs in a corner. And the questions that were coming were, why me? Why, of all these hundreds and thousands of babies, why was I chosen by such an amazing mother?
Paul, why did you take Melinda? You had 2 little kids already. You're a busy missionary.
Yes, well, we love the Philippines. We love the Filipino people. And Diane had a miscarriage, and we talked to each other and said, well, why should we even try and have more children when there are so many children here who need a home? The Filipinos are not commonly adopting, and when they do, they tend to adopt boys. And so there are many, many little girls that are left behind in orphanages, and we had visited some of those orphanages. And so we just felt that it was right to, rather than try and have more children of our own, to have an adopted child.
And she's so cute, these pictures, Melinda. I'm never going to be able to raise my voice or anything at you at the office because
this little girl she's holding actually was named Dory, which is a nickname for toilet bowl, because when she was born, she fell into the toilet bowl. Yeah. And the nurses are all chuckling and laughing as Melinda's holding this baby, telling her the story of this particular little girl.
And Lauren, it's very emotional because, my dad's here and he's saying, Melinda, that's the area where we found you in the crib, and I'm holding these girls and saying, it's one of those things, like, why out of all these babies me? And then why this opportunity? And why these questions? And yet, deep down, it was such a neat way of coming home, because it was, why? Because for me, it was God's grace, that's why. Why? Because God's love is that big that he brings 2 people from London, Ontario missionaries to the Philippines to give me a life. And I think that was what was really meaningful as I came in there, because it doesn't make sense at all.
It was definitely God, because we simply said, we will take the next newborn baby that comes on. Once we were approved for adoption, which was a fairly easy thing in the early 1970s, we said, we will take the next child. They thought we wanted to pick a child. Well, how do you pick a baby? We simply said, the next baby girl that comes is the one we will take. That happens to be Melinda.
Melinda, tell us now about the next scene we're going to see.
Well, Lorna, this is where I was nervous, and this is where the first time I saw Dory, my birth mother.
The staff of Open Doors in the Philippines had done all of the research going to the islands. It took months and months to find her. She turned out to have been married just a few years after giving birth to Melinda, and was now living on a southern island with a rice farmer husband, having 6 children of her own, and now finding out that this child she gave birth to before her marriage wants to meet her. And it was quite exciting, because she told her husband, who didn't know, of course, anything about Melinda's birth, and he came along with their little son. She has a 5-year-old son. And that was the meeting. A pastor was involved. I mean, God just put together so many pieces to make this event possible. It was just miraculous.
And I think the most incredible moment for me there, Lorna, was when Dory said to my dad, thank you, Mr. Estabrooks, for giving a mother, giving me the most wonderful daughter. And I think at that moment, again, I realized this is God at work, caring for the orphans, the little girl that should have never had a life like this or hope. And he comes down and he invades and comes in and works and lives within us and cares for the orphan. And so I think that was such a wonderful moment for my dad and I to share.